Hi guys, and welcome to another haul. So this one is for romantic suspense. That's the main category that came through on my email. These were all free on Amazon. Some of these were included in Kindle Unlimited, but you have the purchase with Kindle Unlimited to either read through Kindle Unlimited if you have that, or to purchase the book. And since they were free, I went with the option to purchase it. So if they were, even $1, I would have said, let's check it out with Kindle Unlimited first before I spend, that money, because I'm starting to try to read more with Kindle Unlimited. So, whatever you want to do, you do you. But the only tag that I have that came through on the email was romantic suspense. So we've got a couple of these to go through. I've got a total of 22 books listed as romantic suspense. If there's anything I need to warn you about, like if I can tell it's going to be steamy, because romantic suspense does not necessarily mean it's a sweet romance or a steamy romance. I saw one I was putting here that's actually listed as erotica. So there's that. I'll let you know if I see that tag. So let's go ahead and jump into book number 1, which is called Homecoming, written by Alex Collins. This did also come up as the author being T.L. Haddix, so I'm guessing that Alex Collins is a pen name for T.L. Haddix, or switch it up. T.L. Haddix could be the pen name for Alex Collins, is what it looks like. But this is book number 1 in the Ullman County series. This has 1,216 ratings with an average of 3.87. This one says, 2 girls, best friends, torn apart as teenagers by a sick and twisted sexual assault. 2 women, strangers now, both with dangerous secrets. So right off we have a trigger for sexual assault. Charity Vaughn is a newcomer in Leroy. From all appearances, a loner with no connection to anyone. Masked with a carefully crafted facade, she waits and observes, watching over any one person in the world she hurt the most, the last person who had ever guessed Charity's truth. Lauren Grant is a single mother, a small business owner, and a survivor. She has managed not to let the attack that shattered her when she was 16 rule her life today. So what if she doesn't date? She's happy enough. But when she meets her parents' handsome new neighbor, she starts wondering if she's settling for less because she's afraid to try for more. Totally understandable from a sexual assault. Totally understandable. Charlie Clark has demons of his own from his teenage years, including a broken relationship with an alcoholic father who wants to make amends. So this looks like it's going to be a multiple POV, maybe at least 3 POVs. Back in his hometown, after finding his way in the world, Charlie longs to build a life and a family. That goal becomes more important than ever when he meets Lauren, but he knows he has to deal with the pain of the past before he can move on to what could be a life full of love and happiness. When the darkness from the assault rises up to take aim at Lauren and Charity, life becomes a game of survival. This time the stakes are higher and blood will be shed. Let's see. Does this have... Okay, so the only other tag that you definitely need to be aware of is that this does have abuse. Obviously sexual assault, because that was right in that first sentence. So definitely something to be aware of. And I think this next one I'm going to talk about is the erotica one. The next one I'm talking about is called Secrets by Aleatha Roaming. This has 6,498 ratings with an average of 4.09. And this is book number 1 in a series called Web of Sin. And the synopsis... So let's go ahead and with this, actually I'm going to scroll down. I was going to start right with the synopsis, but I'm going to scroll down. And this one says it's dark. Yes, this one does have the tag of erotica, so definitely something to be aware of. And I have not read erotica before. I've read steamy romance, but not flat out erotica that I am aware of. So not sure how I'm going to feel about this. But let me go ahead and read the synopsis. It says, I'm Sterling Sparrow, kingpin of Chicago. I rule the world you see, and the one good people pretend they don't. Nearly 2 decades ago, my father showed me a photograph, a girl with golden hair and light brown eyes, and told me that one day, if I proved myself, the girl would be mine. Seasons turn to years and years pass. Chicago is now mine. It is time to claim my queen. There you go. That's all it says. So I don't know what it's about other than him claiming a queen. Whatever that is supposed to mean. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. It's called Targeted Heart, written by Robin Christine DeMarco. 60 ratings with an average of 4.28. This is book number 1 in the Heart Island Mystery Romance series. There's no additional tags, so I can't tell you any more other than that this came through my email as a romantic suspense. And this one says, for Shannon Kelly, coming home to Heart Island's Winslow Cove was bittersweet. After the uncle who had raised her suddenly passed, she inherited the cottage of her childhood. It gave her the opportunity to pick up the pieces of her life and start over on familiar ground. Dr. Kevin Stivers is a lifelong resident of Heart Island and is currently the only doctor on the island. He is pleasantly surprised to learn the girl he had crushed on during his school years has moved back to the island. The big problem he has to overcome is a bias fueled by a family feud dating back decades. Fortunately, he likes a challenge. So that gives me Romeo and Juliet vibes. After a break-in at Shannon's apartment and a succession of questionable events, Shannon and Kevin join forces to determine why she is being targeted. So, there you go. Okay, so this next one I have, the only other tag is mystery, so I don't know anything more than that. This one is called Dark Seas, and the author listed on the cover from what I see on Goodreads is Kari Lee Harmon. It looks like there's a pen name that's also Kari Lee Townsend, or again, it's vice versa. Townsend could be the legitimate last name and Harmon the pen last name. So, not quite sure. This one has 52 ratings with an average of 4.31. The synopsis reads, an unsettling past. 10 years ago, Stacey Buchanan's mother, the mayor, was found dead in Coldwater Cove, Maine. Her death was ruled an accident, but Stacey never got over the feeling that something was off. Her father's health takes a turn for the worse. He can no longer live alone. A champion swimmer turned journalist, she is forced to pass up a dream job at ESPN to return to the Cove. Former Marine turned FBI agent Trent West has thought of nothing for the past 10 years except his secret mission. Undercover as Trent Clark, a delivery man for Worldwide Parcel Service, he moves to the Cove and befriends the Buchanans. After Stacey finds a key piece of evidence that proves her mother's death was no accident, the case gets reopened. She can't move on with her life or find closure until justice is served. But a desperate killer is still out there and will do anything to keep the truth buried in the past. The only person she trusts is Trent. Let's see, who keeps turning up whenever she needs him. He offers to help her find the killer, but she discovers he has a few secrets of his own. Yeah, no crap. Secrets that link him to her mother's case, making Stacey doubt everything she thought she knew and threaten her chance at finally being happy. So you definitely have secrets that are going to be unfolding within that particular story is what that one sounds like. So we'll see how that one goes. Okay, this next one I have is called Vengeance. This is written by Jade, and this is book number 1 in Debt's Ode Duet. So this will be just a kind of like a duology or a duet. 60 ratings with an average of 4.22, and this has no other tags listed. So let's find out if there's anything that I can glean from or learn from the synopsis. It says, the whole world is at my feet. I love it. The whole world is at her feet. I hate her for it. I was raised in wealth by picture-perfect parents and have never wanted for anything. The price I've paid to get to where I am has been steeper than I'll ever let anyone know. But now I'm here, and all I need to do is have the perfect life. And all I need to do to have the perfect life is take the final step tomorrow. Marriage to a man who worships the ground I walk on. What could go wrong? She was raised with the wealth that was made at the expense of my family. Behind her parents' perfect smiles are the monsters who destroyed everything I loved. She's never wanted for anything, and I couldn't even get the things I needed. The price my family paid for her happiness is a debt that no amount of money can atone for. And now I'm here for payback. She thinks tomorrow will be the first step towards her happily ever after. I'll show her just how wrong she is. It does say this is an erotica. So it says it's an erotic romance that ends with a cliffhanger. But don't worry, HEA or happily ever after is guaranteed. And it does say this book contains content that some might find triggering. You're going to have to look it up because it doesn't list what that content is. So maybe that'll be at the start of the book, or you can look it up if the author has their own website. You can look it up there, but it doesn't tell me on Goodreads what any of that triggering content would be. Okay, next up I have Beautiful Storm, written by Barbara Freethy, I'm guessing. Probably said that wrong. That's no surprise there. This is book number 1 in the Lightning Strikes series. This one has 4,318 ratings with an average of 4.03. Any additional tags? Yes, it says contemporary romantic suspense, contemporary romance. So pretty standard. I mean, that's pretty generic. Let's see. When her father's plane mysteriously disappeared in the middle of an electrical storm, Alicia Monroe became obsessed with lightning. Now a news photographer in Miami, Alicia covers local stories by day and chases storms at night. In a flash of lightning, she sees what appears to be a murder. But when she gets to the scene, there is no body, only a military tag belonging to Liliana Valdez, a woman who has been missing for 2 months. While the police use the tag to jumpstart their stalled investigation, Alicia sets off on her own to find the missing woman. Her research takes her into the heart of Miami's Cuban-American community, where she meets the attractive but brooding Michael Cordero. Ha, got it, Cordero. So she meets the attractive but brooding Michael Cordero, who has his own demons to vanquish. Soon, Alicia and Michael are not just trying to save Liliana's life, but also their own, as someone will do anything to protect a dark secret. So, I'm sure the love will be between the two of them. Moving on, I have a book called Believe in Me, written by Sierra Cartwright. This is part of the Hawkeye series. It doesn't tell me what number it is, but I'm guessing it is number 1, because that's, you know what, let me pull up Hawkeye. Let me click on that. This might actually be the last in the series. So let me look. So Believe in Me has 284 ratings with an average of 4.36. I want to see, does it say that these can be read as a standalone? Let's see. It does not say. So let me go back to the series. Book 1 is called Danger Zone. So we're going to go with that one. So let me make note on my paper. Danger Zone. Okay. Okay. So Danger Zone is book number 1. Book number 1 has 1,842 ratings with an average of 3.91. This is going to have some LGBT. This is erotica. It has BDSM. What is this word? MMF, so male, male, female, and MM, so male, male romance. Okay, so menage, I'm guessing. It says also generally used for nonfiction, but it says see also polygamy. So obviously, okay. Okay, not sure how I'm going to feel about this one, but it's 192 pages, at least for the paperback. Who's watching you? The highly specialized Hawkeye team protects the world's most valuable things, secrets, even people. but now one of their own needs protecting. There's a cool $1 million bounty on Dom Wolf Stone's head. Trouble is, Stone's a loner and doesn't want the help. That doesn't stop his submissive and former lover, Nate Davidson, or another determined agent, Kayla Fagan, from showing up at his Colorado ranch uninvited. The spark, the anger, the hurt is still there between Wolf and Nate, and their first kiss reignites the flames. Reignites the flames that time, and distance have not diminished. With Nate's help, Wolf uncovers Kayla's unexplored submissive tendencies under the Dom's unyielding instruction. Kayla explores her sexuality in ways that make her dizzy. So, definitely proceed with caution on that. I am a little nervous, but we'll see. Okay, this next one, the only tag is romance. This one is called The Witness Affair by E.T. McNamara, I'm guessing is how it said. 20 ratings with an average of 4.35. Okay, this one says, while in New York City, an attractive young woman trying to save her Iowa home and farm from legal problems unwittingly becomes the target of an international crime ring. Having no idea why people are trying to kill her, she relies on a handsome New York City police detective to keep her safe. They become aware of the romantic chemistry between them as they try to figure out who wants her dead and why. Realizing the conspiracy is deeper than they thought, they must take drastic actions to keep each other safe, whether it is discovering the perfect crime, its resulting treasure hunt, or the simmering romance of the two main characters. Be prepared for a roller coaster thrill ride, as a series of twists and turns will keep readers guessing until the end. So, that's all that says. This next one, there's a tag called Irish Literature on this one, and it's dark is the other tag. So everything else is pretty generic, romance, contemporary, etc. This is Mafia Prince, written by Vi Carter, and this is book number 1 in the Young Irish Rebels series. And this one says, he's next in line to rule the Irish Mafia. She's off limits, an outsider. But when trouble lands her at his feet, he takes the opportunity to have what he truly wants. Her. Jack. She's the bane of my existence. But when trouble lands her at my feet, I take the opportunity to have what I truly want. I offer her a deal. I'll help her, but the cost will be, one night in my bed, one night of submission, one night to have her completely at my mercy. I hope with my want for her out of my system, I can focus on the crown that belongs on my head. I'm the son of Liam O'Regan, and I am next in line to wear the crown. And when I prove myself worthy, I will rule over the Irish Mafia. If only I had known my battle with Maeve would start a war that may cost me my throne. Maeve. Jack is the only one who can help me. Too bad he hates me. Okay, so Jack is the name of the male character. I was wondering if it was the female main interest in this. So Jack is the main one who is going to be the Irish Mafia prince, ruler person. Maeve is the one that he makes the deal with for the one night in his bed. So Maeve is the woman he sleeps with. Jack is the only one who can help me. Too bad he hates me, but I have no choice but to go to him. It turns out hate is a powerful motivator, and I just handed him away to punish me. He offers me his help for a price. Everything in his world has a price. One night in his bed. He's everything a woman would want, so this should be easy. Only I'm a virgin, and he terrifies me. I should run, but I won't. I can't. I just pray this one night doesn't destroy us both. So, let's see. It says it's enemies to lovers. HEA, so happily ever after, and no cliffhangers. So, that tends to be, I have yet to read any romance, and my romance experience is very limited, but I have yet to read any that does not have a happily ever after. So, okay, this next one is called Hunted by the Past. This is the Sci IV Teams series, and it's book number 1. Written by Jamie Gray. This has 307 ratings with an average of 4.05. Paranormal is a big one I'm seeing. There's also a military fiction tag, urban fantasy. Other than that, pretty standard romance romantic suspense, contemporary, all of that fun stuff. Okay. This one says she's a reluctant psychic. He's the man who walked away. Can they see beyond their painful past to survive a sadistic killer's lethal game of revenge? No matter how far she runs, she can't escape. Changing the past is an impossibility. Ex-Marine Cynthia, or Sin, Arden, understands all too well. Struggling in the aftermath of a botched mission which cost her 2 teammates, her military career, and a fledgling relationship, her world's upended once more by a panicked phone call. The psychic killer behind her nightmares has escaped military custody and is hunting down her remaining teammates, one by one. Up next on his murderous list, Sin. Unless she finds a way to trust the one who walked away. The killer's game brings her face to face with the one person guaranteed to throw off her killer, the unsettling and distracting man she left behind, Caden Shaw. Once she believed he'd stay by her side. Then he chose his job and secrets over her, leaving her heart scarred by their tumultuous past. Can Sin overcome her past to trust the man she loves and master the psychic ability she spent years denying before it's too late? So, there you go. That one actually sounds really good. This next one is called See No Evil, written by Ivy Fox. This is book number 1 in the Society series. This one has 2,212 ratings with an average of 4.03. Tags says college, dark, new adult, contemporary, sports. And that's pretty much it. Okay. The synopsis says, they thought they could get away with it, but they are sorely mistaken. They have been judged. They have been sentenced. All that remains is their execution. No one goes unpunished. We'll make sure of it. Okay, I'm already intrigued. We are the society, and all who dare cross us will find their miserable end by our hand. Don't be fooled. This is not their story. It's ours. Finn, as long as I can remember. So I think okay, so I think this next part's from Finn's perspective. As long as I can remember, I've played by the rules, on and off the football field, so it's the football sports. I've done everything that has been expected of me, until that fatal night. Now my life and the lives of my best friends hang in the balance, hung there by a sadistic, sinister shadow forcing us to do their will. And it's just my damn luck that I'm the first to be put on the butcher's block. I must prove my worth by eradicating a certain pebble in their shoe. The order is simple. To save ourselves, I must ruin another, a life for a life. Meaning, Stone Bennett's life is about to be forfeited in exchange for my own. The poor girl never stood a chance. Okay, and then this next one is from Stone's perspective. It says, he's all-American perfection. I'm the poster child for this country's rejects. He's old Asheville money and privilege. I'm a Southie eyesore people stay clear from. He's cavalier dreams and champagne wishes. I'm the trailer trash his mama probably warned him about. I doubt it can get any further away from the elitist social spectrum than the two of us. So why the hell is Finn Walker, Richfield's football god, suddenly all in my face wanting my attention? Nothing good can come from this. I can feel it. Let's see. It says this is an enemies to lover new adult college romance. Each book can be read as standalones. All 4 books in the series have an entwined subplot, so it will only be resolved in the final book. It does say recommended 18 or older due to mature language and situations. So, definitely keep that in mind. That tells me that's probably going to get pretty steamy, maybe. So we'll see. Okay. Next up, I have The Medusa Project, written by Cindy Dees. This is book number 1 in the Medusa Project. So, same title as the book. The book and the series share the same title. Anyway, 243 ratings with an average of 4.13. This one says military fiction, Harlequin. I've heard the Harlequin thrown out before, but I'm not 100% positive what that is. I think it's just a type of romance, but I'm not positive. So, I don't know. If you know more about it, definitely let me know. Otherwise, I'll just research it when I get to it, when I am interested in knowing more what it is. So this one says, Air Force Major Vanessa Blake had been handpicked to lead the first all-female Special Forces team, the Medusas. But there was one bit of classified information the military hadn't shared with her. Their trainer, tough as nails Lieutenant Colonel Jake Scatallone, was under orders to prove women had no place in Special Forces. No matter how well Vanessa and her team performed, they would fail. Oh, that sucks. That aggravates me. Okay. Then Scatallone, however you say the dude's name, he disappeared on a crucial mission in hostile territory, and Vanessa made the military a deal it couldn't refuse. Send in the Medusas. If they succeed, they would become an official team. If they died, no one would ever have to know. So definitely high stakes, and definitely something that can talk a lot and probably delve quite a bit. We'll probably delve quite a bit into or hint at women's rights. Because I do know at some point women never, it was only men in the military and armed forces. And I do know that there was this, what was it? I can't remember the saying, but I do know that if you were a part of the LGBT community, you couldn't say anything. Otherwise you would be ostracized and ridiculed. There, with the military, there was a lot of animosity towards people that were not white, so Black, Asians, Hispanics, and obviously lesser pay, and then obviously same treatment with women, and women being sexually assaulted and raped and all of that. So I'm wondering how far into that's going to delve, and I think that'll be interesting. So we will see. This next book up is also listed as a military fiction, and that is called Target Nina by Stingray 23. This is book number 1 in the Born to Flight Task Force. This one says, let's see, previously published as Ground Zero by Jessica Clyde. So if you've read Ground Zero by Jessica Clyde, then you'll know about the synopsis that I'm going to read. This one says, when former Navy SEAL Jeff Crockett sees a suspicious man parked on a residential street in the early morning hours, his instincts kick in. When two men bail out and attempt to snatch a young girl, his training takes over. Oh, when two men bail out and attempt to snatch a young girl. That makes more sense. Without hesitation, he rescues her. Okay. Upon learning she was the random target of sex traffickers, an idea sparks to put together an elite fighting force made up of former Alpha Team members to combat this plague facing our citizens. Sex trafficking is just, I don't know enough about it other than that it is awful, awful, and I wish it did not exist, like a lot of stuff in the world. And it's definitely one of those, pardon me, but I'm going to say it, it's definitely a shitty thing in the world. It's awful, awful. I feel really bad for the victims of that. Okay, let's continue on. The first team member to recruit is the key member of Alpha's success, his former targeting officer, Nina Foxtrot Fox. But that's not the only reason she's his first call. You see, in the military, mission success comes first. Love takes a back seat. But in the civilian world, there are no rules, no restrictions, and no reason for them not to be together. So, there you go. So, obviously with the sex trafficking being a part of the plot, I'm sure it's going to touch on that quite a bit, so definitely heads up on that. This next one says it's a reverse harem, and that's the only other other than contemporary romance, and it being a romantic suspense from my email. That's all I know. Okay. This one is called, oh, come on. Okay, Promise of Embers, written by Celeste Knight. This is book number 1 in the Promises series. This has 185 ratings with an average of 4.36. It says, I was offered one last job and I would be free from owing anyone anything. It was enough money that I would be able to pay for my final semester of college and change my life forever. How could I say no to that? The job was straightforward. Burned down an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Strathmore. My life was suddenly turned upside down when I discovered that the job was set up by one of the most powerful men in the city. My entire future and maybe even my life is now at stake. That's how I became tangled up with them. Dominic Butler, Ethan Carter, and Hunter Nicholson. At face value, they were the wealthy businessmen that ran Jupiter Financial. Underneath this facade, they were as crooked as I was. They became determined to protect me at any cost. My head told me that I should try to keep these dangerous men at arm's length, but would my heart and body listen? So, LGBT. I'm assuming from that. I wasn't sure if my life would ever be the same. Unless the main character... Did we even get the main character's name? Unless it's... Oh, well, reverse harem. I think harem is one male and all female. So reverse harem, one female, all male. So must be that the main POV that we're following is female. It doesn't give us a name. So I could be totally off base on that LGBT, but I guess it could be. Who knows? It doesn't give me a tag or anything. If you've read it, definitely let me know if it has that in there or not. Okay, this next one does not have a synopsis on Goodreads, but it is titled Twisted Devil, written by Morgan Jaymes. It has 430 ratings with an average of 4.08. It says it's a novella and mystery thriller, romantic suspense. So, all right, switching over to Amazon. It says it's book 1 out of 9 in the Quentin Security series book. This one says, working for the FBI has taught me that there's no shortage of evil in the world, but occasionally we find something good, something worth fighting for. When a case takes me out of my way one morning, I spy Chloe behind the counter of a local coffee shop. Blonde hair, blue eyes, and a sweet smile that lights up my dark world. I know she's meant for me. All of a sudden, she's gone without a trace, abducted from the parking lot after her shift. There are no clues, no eyewitnesses, and each minute that passes narrows the window of opportunity to bring her back to me safely. The clock is ticking, and I don't have a single second to lose. So, it does say this is the prequel in the series, so it's not actually officially book 1, it's book 0.5. Book number 1 is The Devil You Know. So definitely be aware. So this is going to be a little bit longer of a series. I don't know how explicit or anything. Let's go ahead and move on. This next one is called Wicked After Midnight, written by Olivia Jaymes. This is book number 1 in Midnight Blue Beach trilogy. So not a major commitment. It's only 3 books if you feel like you need to make a commitment with it. So nothing too daunting. 301 ratings with an average of 4.09. This one, let's see, says contemporary romance, romantic suspense, mystery thriller. That's it. Shocking revelations. After a night of tequila shots with her 2 new friends, Bailey discovers that their husbands all died on the exact same day 5 years ago. There has to be a connection between the 3 men, but what? And how does the handsome but mysterious Chase Jennings fit into the mystery? He says he wants to help her, but she's not sure she can trust him. When secrets have been buried this long, they're not going to be revealed easily. Bailey is going to have to risk everything, including her life, to find the truth. So, not sure exactly what's going to be involved in that. But we'll see. So I need to stop here. I have 6 more books to tell you about. But I will be back for you in half a second because I've got to charge my camera. The battery is flashing. So I don't think the lighting will change because I'm using my ring light and I'm in my office in the basement. So you shouldn't even really notice. Maybe an angle difference and me sitting different, but that's it. So I'll see you in half a second. I am back and I think I've got enough juice to finish up these last couple of books. And then I just can't do any more filming until tomorrow. So let's go ahead and finish up the romantic suspense books that I got for free. So this next one is called Morgan's Hunter. This is book number 1 in the Bodyguards of LA County, written by Cate Beauman. This one has 2,023 ratings with an average of 4.09. This one, let's see, says it is a romantic suspense, adult, mystery thriller, contemporary. That's nothing, you know, nothing I need to really warn you about there, or at least that I think of. Okay. Morgan Taylor, DC socialite and wildlife biologist, leads a charmed life until everything changes with a phone call. Her research team has been found dead, slaughtered, in Back County, Montana. Oh, that sucks. As the case grows cold, Morgan is determined to unravel the mystery behind her friend's gruesome deaths. Despite the dangers of a murderer still free, nothing will stand in her way, not even the bodyguard her father hires, LA's top close protection agent Hunter Phillips. Sparks fly from the start when no-nonsense Hunter clashes with Morgan's strong-willed independence. Oh, I'm having trouble speaking. Their endless search for answers proves hopeless until Hunter discovers the truth. On the run and at the mercy of a madman, Morgan and Hunter must outsmart a killer to save their own lives. So I am intrigued. Obviously, the romance is between Morgan and Hunter. I'm wondering how gruesome and gory it's going to get with the slaughter of that happened to her friends and teammates. I'm hoping it gets pretty gory. I like the gore, but it doesn't say. And I have no idea. This next book I have is called Only Her Heart, written by Lynn Cote or Cote? Cote? I don't know. This is book number 1 in the Opposites Attract series. Only Her Heart. I think I said the name of the title. If I didn't, there it is now. If I did, you get it again. 140 ratings with an average of 4.24. This one does say it's Christian. So now the email that I got had this one as a contemporary fiction, or had this as romantic suspense, but this does say that it is a Christian fiction, so just be aware of that. Okay, so the synopsis says, what will it take for a clueless computer genius to notice the loving woman at the desk beside him? Caring, hardworking Annie Petrov's about to quit the job she loves. Why? From day one, she's been in love with Jack Lassiter, her computer genius boss who grasps intricate codes and computer security but never understands people. 5 years of being valued only as the executive assistant who makes his life easier is no longer enough for Annie. If she goes now, she can leave with her pride intact. As she writes her letter of resignation, an unexpected call from Jack's estranged, successful surgeon father upends Annie's plan and Jack's life. His dad's multiple facility Hope Medical Network's computers have been hacked. He needs Jack's expertise to discover the hacker and prevent another intrusion. Jack wants nothing to do with his father, but Annie points out this should be a bottom line decision. And though she doesn't say so, Jack needs to face his father. So Jack grits his teeth and takes the job. Now she cannot leave, not when Jack needs her help to navigate the troubled waters between father and son. After Jack, okay, here we go. I scrolled too far. Sorry. After Jack cleans up the Hope mess and designs a new security system, the hacker steps up his attacks. Hope Medical fears he might target patient records. Someone could die. As Jack works to expose the hacker, the true reasons for the estrangement from his father will also be exposed. Is Jack ready for the truth, and more importantly, ready to admit that what he's ignored all along, that he loves Annie? What will at last break through his emotional firewall? So that does sound pretty good. The hacking, which we have seen a bit of. Who all was it that got hacked? I don't even remember. I haven't heard of big businesses getting hacked recently, but I'm sure it still happened. And anyway, it just sucks. Next up, I have Frozen in Ice, written by Cynthia Eden. This is book number 1 in the Icebreaker Cold Case series. This has 884 ratings with an average of 4.35. This one, it does give me some genre tags. Let's see. Contemporary, romantic suspense, mystery, marriage, mystery thriller. So there you go. Okay. Is he a drop-dead gorgeous killer? Lila is what it's being called. And that's, again, I do that when it's literally a quotation thingy in the synopsis. So Lila Darrow doesn't belong in the world of the rich and famous. But for one night, she's going to wear the fanciest dress she can find and pretend that she does. Her plan, get close to the reclusive billionaire Archer Radcliffe and find out, is he a murderer? She knows exactly what Archer likes. He knows how to slip beneath his guard. Oh, she knows how to slip beneath his guard. She knows how to make him fall for her. With the right tools, Delilah believes she can finally make Archer pay for the crime he committed so long ago. Payback is calling, and she's wearing a dress made for sin. Delilah is part of a group of crime solvers called the Icebreakers, an online team made up of individuals who have the goal of solving cold cases. 5 years ago, Delilah's sister disappeared without a trace. Since then, Delilah has made it her mission to close as many unsolved cases as possible. Archer Radcliffe will be the latest target in her quest, except Archer turns the tables on her. He sees through her lies, tries to seduce her, and he also swears his innocence. Can she trust him, or is he playing her? Now that he has Delilah at his side, Archer can finally get the justice, the vengeance he has craved. The only problem, the beautiful Delilah will be in danger, but Archer intends to stick close to her, so close that he will believe they are completely in love. Oh, that the world will believe they are completely in love. So close that a deadly enemy will want to strike. So close that justice maybe, if he's not careful, Archer might begin to fall for the woman he intends to use. Let's see, author's note. Archer is rich, powerful, and definitely not a man you want as an enemy. Desire can be deadly, and revenge is always best served ice cold. So, there you go. Okay. Okay, this next book is called Sexy Liar, written by Stacey Kennedy. This is book number 1 in the Dirty Hacker series. This one has 221 ratings with an average of 4.02. Nothing surprising with the genres. It's a romantic suspense, is pretty much contemporary, and then just those words individually. So nothing more I can say there that would be surprising. It says, 5 years ago, hacker Alex McCoy had a hot-as-hell week in Paris with a CIA agent she was teamed up with before a final night that neither of them would call their finest hour. Now, Alex's life is spent hunting down the classified information behind her screen and working too many hours to count. She's miles past burnout and has decided to escape to New York City for a much-needed vacation. CIA agent Rowan Hawkeye, I'm guessing that's how it's said. Anyway, so let's see. Rowan never thought he'd see Alex again after his midnight tiptoe on their last evening together in Paris. But his sister has been abducted and he's desperate for the help of the best hacker he's ever met, especially when he finds out she's in New York. Hoping to use all his previous skills of seduction to get her assistance, Rowan isn't prepared for the immediate sizzle that springs back to life between them. Lost in the moment, he takes what he wants, Alex's lush body bending to his will. Okay, this sounds like it'll be very steamy, just from that. But when the lust is sedated between them and he admits he purposely seduced her to help him find his sister, he'll need more than charm to win over the mistrustful hacker. He'll need the truth. As the case becomes increasingly dangerous, the stakes ratchet up alongside the heat between Rowan and Alex. But when Alex discovers a link between the killer and the FBI, she must decide if she can trust Rowan to protect her, or if he's the man her heart needs protection from. So, it does say the Kindle version is 172 pages, so it is a shorter read. Okay. The next book I have is called The King, written by A. Rivers. This looks like it's a standalone from what I can see, and this just tells me it's a contemporary romance, but again, please be aware, these were all under the email that I received for romantic suspense. So I don't know about spicy or anything like that. This says, I've loved Ronan King for years, but the billionaire security mogul has every reason to hate me for the losses he suffered at my family's hands. Yet, when I'm in danger, Ronan is the one who comes to my rescue. He whisks me off to his penthouse and swears to protect me. I finally have a chance with the man I've always wanted, but with the sinister enemy closing in, can I stay alive long enough to keep him? That's all I know. Okay guys, so we are on the last book. I finally have enough juice to finish this. So, this last one is called Beats of Hope. When I first saw this, I thought it was Beasts. But no, it's Beats of Hope. This is a dark Irish mafia romance written by Fiona Foley. And there's no information on Goodreads. No ratings, no synopsis, or anything like that. So I do have this in a different tab on Amazon. There are no reviews or ratings on Amazon on this as of this point. Let's see. So I don't know if it's going to be erotic. I don't know anything like that. There's literally no information. All I can tell you is that this was in the email, again, that I've said a couple of times that I got that said romantic suspense. So that's literally all I know. So let's read this synopsis. It says, and see if we can learn anything. For Isabella, that was one of the best nights of her life because she had found herself in the arms of a wonderful man who, although he made love to her in a car, felt more intimate than she had felt in a long time. The way he spoke to her, the kisses that he gave her, his caresses, the desperate way in which he asked her to move more, the explosion inside her, the breathing, but above all, their eyes. They looked into each other's eyes without any guilt, without hiding, but as a pair of clean souls who see each other without any fear, who find themselves in a universe where nothing else exists. So from those two paragraphs, I think it's going to be explicit. They did not want to imagine what could happen if they were discovered. Surely Dominic would kill them both. That was the fear that beat in both of their chests, but they knew that they would not stop and that now more than ever they would look for excuses to go out. It was just the beginning. Doesn't tell me anything, so I have no idea really what this is about or anything like that. So those are all of my recent acquisitions of romantic suspense books. Let me know if you've read any of them or anything by any of these authors. Have any of these synopsises intrigued you to look more into a particular book? Definitely let me know. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I'll talk to you later.